but then the nice connection between Paul and James, where James is saying clearly, if you don't have works, your faith is dead. And so that's connected to Matthew 25, when Jesus is talking about sheep and the goats. If you have not visited me while I'm sick, or in the hospital, or come to prison, if I'm in prison, you haven't served in any kind of way, then you're going to have to depart from me. I never knew you. And so you go to Matthew 11, though, all of a sudden, we've done all these things in your name. What are you talking about, Jesus? Well, that gets into Pharisaism. So that gets into, I just did these things really to look like a great guy. And I never cultivated any kind of relationship to you. I never glorified you in it. And that's why Jesus always went after the Pharisees, saying, look at the inside of the cup. Your father is the devil, he said to them. That's pretty intense language. And so outside of the cup, the Pharisees, it was perfect. The cup looks great. It was sparkly, shiny, because they were the ones tithing the most. They were the ones really meting out justice. Historically, the Pharisees are talked about in that kind of way. So they were doing Matthew 25. They were visiting the sick, most likely, and doing these kinds of things. But then, like you said, Matthew 11 and other places with Paul, you're justified. That's why Martin Luther, for example, when he penned those 95 Theses and changed the world through Protestantism versus Catholicism and all different other types of denominations that were all about connected to James. It's just, I got to work my way to God. See, Martin Luther is such an incredible mind and made this gigantic shift of millions. We're sitting here largely because of Martin Luther. I don't know if we realize that or not. Where he read Romans chapter 1, where it's not by my works, but by God. And I do these works for God, not for myself. So that gets back lastly to the difference between the Christian faith and Islam. I'm riding an Uber the other day with a Muslim guy. And I said, okay, after a while of talking, I said, so you're going to paradise, right? And he said, oh, I have no idea. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of these good things. I haven't done many bad things in my life, but I still don't know. Okay, right there, that's the biggest divide between Islam and Christianity. A Christian can say, I am secure in my relationship with Christ. I have failings, but I've gone after him and said he is doing these things, and it's simply a response to the grace he's offered me. Versus Islam and other worldviews, which is, I just got to pile up these things. If my heart's lighter than a feather, then God owes me. No, God doesn't owe me anything. God created me. He created this whole place. I owe God everything, and it's out of his grace that he's accepting me.
So is it that our works? I understand that it's by faith in Jesus Christ that we're saved.